Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Here.
Councilmember Miles.
Here.
Councilmember Zajac.
Here.
Council Chairperson Perry.
Here. Mr. Archie will lead us in our opening ceremonies today.
O God, the Father of us all, we humbly beseech Thee in Thy wisdom and knowledge to guide and direct the deliberations of this council along the path of truth, justice, and righteousness, so that what it decides for the welfare of our citizens may also redound to Thy greater honor and glory. We ask that You please lay Your healing hand over this room, over our city, and over the larger community of the United States. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Okay, this evening we have no public hearings. There are no presentations, so we will move on to the speakers on agenda items. Liz, we have 3 minutes, everybody. Please identify the item you're speaking of, and your name and your residency when you speak. Liz?
Our first speaker, and pardon me if I mispronounce, I don't mean to. You can correct me when you get to the podium. But our first speaker is James Zuido, agenda item number 3. James?
My name is Jim Sweeto. I represent the Niagara Community Revitalization Organization. We're an organization in the city of Niagara Falls that has represented the children, the school districts, and the neighborhoods for the past 40 years. My objection and my voice here today, I was told I don't have a dog in this fight, but actually I do, because as I look around, I see the citizens and the children and a future of Niagara Falls. They are thoroughly satisfied with the current operator of the hockey rink. With all the money that is pissed away, I'll say it, by the administration in fruitless legal battles, I do not understand when we finally get a local person that operates this arena efficiently and is clearly satisfying the citizens of Niagara Falls. My only question to this council is, were you elected by these citizens that you are representing? Or were you here and put in office to represent the current administration of Mayor Restaino? My answer is simple. To me, this is Civics 101. If you're here to represent the citizens of Niagara Falls, vote for what they want, not for the current administration that is in the city of Niagara Falls. Remember, you were elected by the public, and you're here to represent them. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Michael Corella. Michael?
Thank you. Thank you. All right, since we're hockey players here, I'll do a little hockey analogy for us here, all right? We know that in a hockey game, there's ups and downs, right, guys? Nothing's ever perfect, just like life. So when I first found out the administration was going to pick Legacy to run the rink, it was like a punch in the gut. You know, working for 14 years for a rink that I love very much, it hurt. But you know what? You don't just sit around and feel bad for yourself. You get up and keep working, right? Just like in life. All the pessimists told me that I was wasting my time trying to talk to the council, that they really don't care. But I can tell you that's false. I would like to thank every councilman and woman for taking my time to discuss the rink, which means a lot to me and our community, as you can tell. I mean, we got this place packed, right? Regardless of how you vote today, you took time to listen to me. That is civics. Our kids right now are learning a great deal about how government works, which is a valuable lesson for everyone in this room. Okay, I do believe the mayor wants the best for the rink, but he's being fed bad numbers and misinformation. There's been 2 administrations, 3 different lawyers, and I can't even know how many comptrollers, if we do have a comptroller, since we first started this contract. Okay, things have been lost in translation. I have all the documentations to get this straightened out, and hopefully we can soon. We do not owe money. Let me repeat. We do not owe money. There were months during the early years of our contract where the rink was going through renovations. We were there in the beginning when they did all the beautiful renovations. The administration put money in to make the rink how it is now. Some of those times the rink was not available to be used, okay? So that's why there was not payments. It's all been documented. They didn't, in the beginning when we had the rink, we took the ice out in the summer. We didn't pay those months. Now they wanted the rink open 12 months. We have enough business. We worked hard enough to get business so we could be open for 12 months. And then we know what happened at COVID. Business was shot during COVID. I'm proud of the job we've done at Hyde Park. It has the atmosphere where everyone feels they belong. It's our home. Others feel it as well when they enter our facility. People from all over the country that come to this city and this rink because of our tournaments. They just feel the love of the rink. What I'm most proud of, though, is the young men and women that we are influencing. As a coach, I see these players 4 times a week. They're a big part of my life, as I am to them. But it's not just me. It's the rink. It's the families that make up our community. It takes a village, they say, or maybe it takes a rink. The rink has a much bigger economic impact than just the rent that is paid. I spoke in Destination Niagara, the hotel management, and they are scared that this rink will be shut down. It would be devastating for the economy of Niagara Falls if this rink was shut down.
Thank you, Michael. Our next speaker is Christine Chase, agenda item number 3. Christine.
Thank you. Hello, many of you may know me. I'm a resident of Niagara Falls. I live on Cube Island. I'm a city school district teacher for 23 years. So I feel that, having 3 children that go to Niagara Falls City School District and participate in several sports in our community, I'm well vested in the community as a citizen, a teacher at 79th Street School for the last 23 years, and I'm here to tell you that this rink belongs in the hands of Mike Corella. My 3 boys, 6 years ago, couldn't skate, couldn't play hockey, expressed they wanted to play hockey. Took them all to Hyde Park rink, all 3 of them started skating. Who taught them that? Mike, his team, his people, not an outside company that doesn't know our community, doesn't know our needs, and doesn't realize the importance of keeping kids involved in these sports and what they're gonna lose if this company takes over and the mayor gets what he's gunning for. Don't know why. Our community struggles. We rely on local businesses, and many of you know that. Proving an outside agency who are unfamiliar and ill-equipped to handle running a rink. I say our rink, and I will say it often. This is our rink. It belongs to our community. We're asking for our current operator, Mike Corella, to remain in place for our children, our teams, our community, and our families, where we spend 5 days a week, money, time, and sacrifice to be with Mike, not to be with Legacy, hired by the mayor outside and underneath your noses, behind your backs. We met, I read that part already, excuse me. Okay. My middle son, Andrew, specifically, became a phenomenal hockey player, and has devoted everything in him to be the best he can be. He's given up other sports and dedicated his time and his passion to hockey. And he's driven in that and grows in school, in grades, and in everything in life. And who did that for him? Not Legacy Corporation. Mike Corella, Jay Hill, Big Bear, Drew. These people come because Mike is there. They're not going to come and train kids and build relationships with them for a corporation that knows nothing about this community. It's inappropriate and unacceptable. Andrew would not have gained the skills that he has gained from anyone besides Mike. And as any of us know who have children, adolescence is quite challenging. And losing this family atmosphere and familiarity would be detrimental to our youth in this community. As established educator in our community, I would like to leave you with this. It takes one person to change the direction of a child. One person.
Our next speaker is Peter Jacobs, agenda item number 3. Peter Jacobs.
Good evening. I'm using my notes off my phone. Council members and friends of Hyde Park, my name is Peter Jacobs, agenda item number 3. I'm proud to call Niagara Falls my home. I'm an avid volunteer, a fan, and someone who has spent countless hours supporting our children and families at our favorite place in the city. I've seen firsthand how safe, welcoming space can shape a child's life. It's not just on the ice, in school, at home, and in their communities. Hyde Park is more than a place for hockey. It's a sanctuary for families. It's where kids gain confidence, learn teamwork, build friendships that last a lifetime. It's where parents and grandparents can be a part of that child's growth, as well as cheer them on every step of the way. Right now, the corporation is looking to step in and take over this space. I'm deeply concerned because they don't see the rink as this type of place where children learn, grow, and feel safe. Decisions made without considering the needs of the kids will have long-term damaging effects on their mental health, leading to increased stress, anxiety, loss of confidence. Our kids deserve this space that nurtures them, not corporate interests that would prioritize profit over people. As someone who volunteers regularly, I see the joy, pride, and resilience this ring offers. That's why I'm here today to ask council tonight to take a stand, protect our rink, protect our kids, and ensure that this safe space remains there for them to be supportive, family-centered place for generations to come. These are not the Albany Bruins. They're not the Boston Bruins. These are your Power City Bruins. They're named after the city that they care about, the Power City. They wear that name proudly as they travel all over North America, represent this city, not Albany. As the father of 2 former Bruins, it's hard not to notice some of the resources and things happening for youth in other markets. We have the car washes, we have our Chick-fil-A now, great job. These kids have Hyde Park. These kids have Hyde Park. Right there at Hyde Park, they have the power to rise, they have the power to shine, to grow their best selves. It gives them the chance. You have the opportunity today to keep that chance here with these kids, with our leadership team. Thank you for your time and dedication. My time's up, I'm a little bit early, but on behalf of the Power City Bruins, one of the volunteers, I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Adam Giacometti. Adam. Don't worry, we'll reset it when you come.
Council members, my name is Adam Giacometti, and I'm here for the Power City Bruins. I have 3 kids that have grown up playing from Hyde Park. I grew up playing at Hyde Park when it was not as nice as it was. It was an absolute dump. It was. Mike Corella has turned it around. These kids need Hyde Park. I'm sorry, but you council members were elected for the people of Niagara Falls. Legacy is not part of Niagara Falls. It is such a bad company. They stole every picture in their RFP off Mike's website, including his wedding. They have gone so far as to call Mike and ask him to run the rink. That should speak all of it right there. They don't have a clue. They don't. And you, as elected members from this community, need to start listening to the community members that elected you. And it's not just about Hyde Park. You need to listen when the voters speak. And we are speaking now. Keep this rink under Mike Corella and NST. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris McKendrick, agenda item number 3. Chris.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of American Niagara Hospitality, which operates the iconic brands in our city of Sheraton, Wyndham Garden, Rainforest Cafe, Starbucks, the recently launched Live on Air balloon ride, and will soon bring Steelbound Brewery and Distillery to Niagara Falls. I want to share our perspective on the possible change in management at Hyde Park Ice Pavilion, and I just want to talk business. For our hotels and for this city, the hockey tournaments held at Hyde Park and other rinks are more than games. They are economic lifelines during our slowest months. When teams and families visit, they spend money in hotels, restaurants, shops, and parking. Every room night generates occupancy tax and ancillary revenue that benefits this city and its taxpayers. Last winter, tournaments for our company alone brought in over $500,000 in just room revenue. That produced more than $30,000 in occupancy tax, before counting any ancillary spend in restaurants, attractions, or at gas stations. These tournaments keep hospitality employees working and earning during an otherwise quiet season. These tournaments fill most downtown hotels and are cornerstone winter events for our city. Without them, we risk losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in local revenue, tens of thousands in tax collection, and reliable winter employment for the hospitality industry. We feel it is highly probable that if rink management changes, the current promoters will likely move their tournaments to the South Towns, where rink availability is less challenging, newer, and rinks have more features, which would allow organizers to grow their tournaments. They instead have remained here out of loyalty to our hotels and to this city, and the relationships that have formed over time play an important part in the execution of these tournaments. I urge the council to carefully weigh the long-term benefits these tournaments bring before making any decisions on the future management of Hyde Park. Supporting our local tournament organizers means sustaining tourism, jobs, and tax revenue that directly benefit our community. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tanya Barone, agenda item number 3.
Good evening, council members. I'm here tonight because what is happening at the Hyde Park Ice Rink is not just about one facility. It's about fairness, professionalism, and how this city treats its business partners. For 4.5 years, NST has operated without a valid current contract in place. That alone is unacceptable. It is equally unacceptable that the city now claims that NST owes over $1 million. Yet this issue is only being raised because the administration has decided it would prefer a different company to operate the rink. If the city truly believed NST owed this amount, it should have been addressed years ago, not conveniently weaponized now. At the same time, basic standards of business have been ignored. Letters explaining reduced payments have gone unanswered. Attorney emails have been ignored. and locks have been changed on a business operation without meaningful communication. That is how you build trust or foster growth. That is not how you build or foster growth in Niagara Falls. Even more troubling, Jessica from Scapegrate, whose name appears in Legacy's business proposal, was contacted directly. She confirmed she is not interested in working at Hyde Park Ice Rink. Her name was used without her knowledge or consent. That is falsification, plain and simple, and should immediately disqualify this company from consideration. There are too many disturbing questions surrounding this process. If we cannot properly vet a proposal, if we allow false information to go unchecked, and if we only enforce contracts when it suits a political purpose, then we are failing our residents, our businesses, and our reputation as a city. The Hyde Park Ice Rink is more than a sheet of ice. It is a community hub, a place for families, kids, and neighbors to come together. It deserves leadership that values transparency, accountability, and respect. Council members, I urge you to hold this administration accountable, demand integrity in how we manage contracts, demand fairness in how we treat businesses, and most importantly, demand honesty in the proposals we accept. Niagara Falls cannot grow if it's built on selective enforcement and broken trust. Let us set a higher standard, starting with the Hyde Park Ice Rink. Thank you for your time, and please, vote the right way tonight. Vote for the people, not for political interest.
Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Our next speaker is Janine Gallo. Agenda item number 3, Janine.
Janine Gallo, Paws in the Falls. Okay, again, can't top that. Can't top that. 3-2 up there. You can't top it. Every contract you put through, you just say yes to. But you're going to throw these kids out of a park, out of their ice rink, as you're building a dog shelter across from it, that you don't have a vendor to run it, $4.5 million. Why don't you give it to the hockey people? Okay? Why don't you fix their parking lot? Why don't you upgrade their stuff? We've gone 2 years, you're paying $20,000 for a dog shelter that held 13 dogs. Now you're paying 10 for 10 dogs. And what else? You're passing out money through the back door as usual. But you're going to throw them out. There was $56 million given to COVID to help businesses and things to keep running during COVID. Am I correct? How much did you give to the hockey? 0. The only thing I remember in the 2 years is you gave $18,000 for some bar to get new countertops. Where's the other $56 million? Where is it? Nobody has an answer up there, but you go, yes, yes, yes. For 30, does the hockey people know you pay $30,000 for a washer and dryer for the dog shelter? I missed last meeting, you paid $17,000 for a dishwasher? In my last speech up here, you edited it out because I called you out about the hockey rink. So you just cut it out. My 3-minute speech, how convenient. Because I questioned people's votes up there. So you just cut the 3 minutes out because you didn't like what I had to say. That's too bad. Enough's enough. Everybody up there, the 3 yeses, you got what you wanted. Now stop. You are destroying, you're making a mockery of yourselves. Now, I mean, really, let's forget about the after-school programs and all the minority people. We took everything away from them. Now you're wiping out the whole Niagara Falls. Oh, they forgot. 20 years ago. Now all this money, this interest money's coming. How about that park that you didn't have a penny to spend on? Okay? I mean, come on. How embarrassing. And you pretend you don't pay attention and we don't care because the mayor tells us to say yes. Shame on all of you.
Thank you. And that, sir, is the last speaker.
Okay, thank you. Mr. DuBois, do we have any administrative updates tonight?
None this evening.
Okay, and anybody have community announcements to make? Right.
Falls. It is a physical activity event. It will be starting at the Underground Heritage Center on Saturday, the 20th at 10 o'clock, free and open to the public.
Also, there's the 12th Annual Veterans Appreciation Day. Saturday, noon to 4 at Niagara Falls High School. General admission is $15. That includes 1 meal ticket and 1 sheet of auction tickets.
Okay, do they have, you have reservation information with that, David? Or is there any information contact for reservations or? No. Okay. All right. Okay, anything else? Okay, we're moving now to item number 4, review and adoption of the agenda. Are there any motions to amend the agenda by roll call vote? No? Okay. I would make a motion then to accept the agenda as proposed. I have a second? Any opposed? Okay, Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Archie? Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac?
Yes.
And Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay, we have no minutes to review. And I don't see anything from the clerk's office, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to agenda items. May I have a motion for legislative item number 1, please?
Approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Deval Safety Equipment, Inc. to purchase various hazardous incident response equipment for the NFFD under a New York State OGS Hazardous Incident Response Equipment contract, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated September 11th, 2025.
Is there a second? Okay, information requests? Any opposition? Okay, Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Archie? Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Agenda item number 2. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, for number 2, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Ferrario Ford to purchase 7 2024 Ford F-25 four-wheel drive regular cab pickup trucks for DPW, each equipped with a snowplow, salter, and safety lights under the New York State OGS Vehicle Marketplace Guidelines, and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with the said vendor as more fully outlined in his recommendation memo dated September 11th, 2025.
May I have a second?
Second.
Information requests? Any opposition? Okay, let's call the roll, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac?
Yes.
And Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Agenda item number 3. May I have a motion?
Yes, number 3. I move the council vote to approve contract award for RFP 2025-21 to Legacy Hospitality and Entertainment Group, LLC, for the provision of operation management, maintenance, and programming services relative to the city's Hyde Park Ice Pavilion, and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with that successful proposer as more fully outlined in his recommendation memo dated September 11th, 2025.
Is there a second? I have information requests, please.
Did the mayor and his administration have an idea that, or did they have the information from Miss Jessica Roswell from Skate Great? Did they have did they know that she had zero intention of actually coming here and doing business in the city of Niagara Falls before they actually put this RFP in place for us to vote on today? You may not be able to answer that, but he's not here.
No, I can answer that. We dispute that claim. It's not true.
So I actually spoke with her myself, and she specifically made it very clear.
Is she here tonight to say that?
I spoke to her. Again.
This is the opportunity for people to speak. So
Again.
We're on the record.
Well,
we can accept your hearsay. We can accept mine.
Well, actually, hold on, just a second, just a moment. Yeah, I think the issue is that I'm asking a question that required just a yes or no answer, not your. Here's the thing. Sorry, I think the thing is
I'm not constrained to answer just yes or no.
Okay, so you don't have
to provide legal advice.
So you don't have the answer.
Mr. Miles, can I make a suggestion? I know we want to hold that to the opposition.
Okay,
first?
Absolutely. Then he won't be.
Because I know what you're
I got you.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
I do have a question. It's been addressed here today, and documentation that's been made available to everyone that's here tonight shows that shortfall of 1.4 million, and even with the COVID, if we take COVID into consideration, it's still, we'll just call it $1 million or 1.2. We've heard that some of this, or perhaps all or some portion of it, was forgiven and that there's documentation. Can you address that for us? Is there documentation, prior council votes to forgive that? How do we assess that?
Let me say this. Start off by saying that there is no paper trail that I am aware of that this council has ever been asked to approve an amendment to the contract that NST incorporated. Some people have an idea that Legacy is the corporation. Actually, Legacy is an LLC. The only corporation here is NST. It's called NST Incorporated. The contract that NST Incorporated signed, Mike and his father, it contains a clause, and it's written very clearly, that any amendments or changes to this agreement have to be in a writing signed by both parties, and I can categorically state there is no such amendment. There is no such council action that would be required to approve an amendment. So what's being suggested is very convenient because it pertains to a prior administration, the Deister administration, which obviously isn't here to defend themselves tonight. I suggest that all the talk about a prior sweetheart deal given to the Corellas by the Deister administration is irrelevant. What I'm saying is that whatever happened or didn't happen with the Deister administration relative to NST Incorporated, it's all water under the bridge. For my purposes, it's not really relevant for this reason. It's beyond the 6-year statute of limitations. So, if there is litigation between the city and NST Incorporated, it's not going to address those years where the Deister administration was here because too much time has gone by. I have simply focused on what has happened in the past 6 years. And you can see that, you can see what happened in the past 6 years. Excuse me. You can see what happened in the past 6 years by looking at Exhibit B. And you can see the actual payments that were made by NST Incorporated. And there's no doubt, and there's no debate, that in year 10, from September 1, 2021 to August 31, 2022, there were 0 payments made by NST. No payments toward utility, no payments towards license fee. And I hear the people in the background saying,
Sir, that's warning number 1. You will be removed.
I hear the people saying COVID in the background. I researched that. What I found is that the New York State Department of Health had placed a 10.5-month restriction, a ban on non-professional indoor ice hockey. That certainly would have affected the leagues that play at the ice pavilion and any other open rink, indoor rink, I should say, in the state of New York. What I want to emphasize is that strict ban was lifted on February 1st, 2021. Now take a look at Exhibit B. When does February 1st, 2021 occur? In year 9. In year 9, that was the year that NST paid $67,500. So with the COVID restrictions lifted in year 9, certainly COVID cannot be the explanation for a 0 payment for the 10th year, which is September 1, it's covering September 1, 2021 to August 31st, 2022.
This is between the council and the counselor for questions, and when we get to debate, it's with the council. It's not for open discussion.
Furthermore, when I investigated the utility expenses for this pavilion over 12 years, the controller's department gave me 12 years of data on what the utilities cost from year to year. It's noteworthy that out of those 12 years, the 2 highest years, in other words, the 2 years in which the utility payments were the highest, they just happened to fall during the COVID years of 20 and 21. In 2020, the utility payment for that building to keep it open was $181,000. That's the 2nd highest number ever recorded for utilities for that building. The record breaker, though, was in 2021, year 2 of COVID. That utility bill topped out at $186,875.15. The year that NST Inc. did not pay the city a thing, in 2022, the utility bill was $166,856.11. It actually dropped post-COVID, and yet there was no payment in that year, 2022, post-COVID. So for that reason, I was not involved in the work of the selection committee, but having studied the payment history, the utility expenses, it's my opinion that NST Inc.'s proposal does not qualify as a proposal from a responsible proposer or bidder because of the non-payment.
Follow-up question. So, because I did hear what you said there, and looking at, if we look at years 9 through 13, so I'll just focus on that and throw the rest out here for a moment. Am I correct in understanding that then the city supplemented approximately $600,000 in those years?
Over the last 6 years.
This would be Exhibit A. I'm referring to Exhibit A.
That's correct.
So I was going to mention the same thing. So subsidy subsidy, in my mind, the same way with CDBG and some other things, like we're not necessarily looking for it back. So it was the city saying, okay, let's step in and make this whole, even though we are making ourselves whole on what needs to be received. And so to me, if I'm the person saying cut the check, it means that I support the activity that's happening. And I'm just wondering why now we're saying, well, pay us our money. You know what I mean? I said I'm asking if I've authorized to subsidize, why am I now saying because there's another bidder that I prefer, I'm saying you owe me X. And even though I talked to Mr. Carell, there's something, we don't know what, but like now I'm saying give me all of this and then I'll let you into play. Like I don't get that. There's a disconnect.
And truthfully, I'm not following.
So let me say it again for you.
Am I allowed to subsidize?
No. I'm not saying am I allowed to. I am saying that the city subsidized, correct? These last 6 years.
In order to keep the doors open.
Right?
Correct.
So we subsidized, meaning we made ourselves whole for whatever was there.
No.
We paid the bills, whatever's going on.
We kept the doors open using taxpayer money out of the general fund.
We supported the activity that was happening there. Yes? Because what we could have done, year one, year two, is just said, we're going to shut this down. It's not making any money. Let's get out the contract. And I'm sure there's a clause to get out the contract. So I'm wondering now why we're saying, so you follow me, pay us all of this, and then we'll maybe decide to let you back. There's a disconnect.
Because if we go to court, we're legally entitled to look back at the last 6 years because the statute of limitation goes that far. So the fact that Corella paid us nothing in year 10 in 2022 doesn't mean that we're entitled to go to court and say we're owed that money. Okay? I mean, we wouldn't give it. If the council is going to, at some future date, pass a resolution that forgives all these past debts, well, that's something that we can discuss after this meeting.
I'm just saying because, like, why would we? And no disrespect to you, like, but if we're not getting the money that's owed, what do we expect to get if we take somebody to court? Like, why would we be trying to expend more money instead of support the thing? Like, I don't get it. It's not connected.
The idea of getting the idea of getting money from NST Inc. is secondary. First of all, many corporations will get judgments against them and they'll just fold up, right? In which case, we receive nothing. More importantly is to focus on what is the effect of the city allowing something like a zero payment for a full year. Now that that is public information, what kind of example does that set for other vendors who do business with the city? We have other facilities that are operated by private entities, LLCs, and corporations. Now that this is out in the open, do we want to have them say, well, why didn't I get that deal? Why didn't I get to, right?
I guess my comment would be that they're probably not the first person that hasn't paid us, and I wouldn't make the example out of the local people if we're going to go sue something like that. It doesn't connect. Yeah. But I'll stop. You know what I mean? I'll stop.
Okay. Any other questions here? Okay, we'll move on to the debate stage, which I know we're going to have some debate here. And let me start off with the pro, and then I know we can go to the con, so you might even address some of the things I have to say. But over the past 3 years, over the past several weeks, I've received an array of text messages, emails. There's some truth in much of it. Some of it is misleading, some non-factual, some irrelevant. But here's the bottom line from what I'm seeing. An RFP was sent out and a recommendation was made from purchasing department. People are looking at this like it's the mayor versus the city, the council versus the mayor. it's against us, against them, the mayor, whatever. But the bottom line here is an RFP was sent out. The bids were submitted. I have reviewed all of the bids, as everybody else here has, the bid sheet and everything that goes along with it, and the bids were not even close. Not even reasonable close where we can lean over and say, well, this is a local vendor, so let's use him instead. The reason you put out RFPs are to get competitive bids. This is especially important. It's been in past years when old friends were made deals and saying, well, you can have it, even though this isn't the best deal for the city, you can still have it anyways. And that is not a good way to do business. This may not be a perfect way, but it's currently the most fair way to evaluate the bid process. Now, once the bid process is closed, it's unethical to try and coerce legislators to go against what's required for them in the best interest of the city. We all took an oath to uphold the laws and the rules that are in place. I will vote in accordance with the things that I know that are factual and not fall prey to coercion or threats or anything along those lines. Let me assure you that the intimidation is not going to work. Mr. Carell, I think it's, if people aren't familiar with how the bid process works, they should be educated. And you shouldn't bring people in that have, one more time, I gave you 2 warnings now, you're going to be out of here, right? Okay. An RFP went out. Legacy provided the city with the most successful formula for the future operation of the ice rink. You might think that by voting no tonight, that's going to give Mr. Carella the ice rink. It's not going to happen like that. That's not how it goes. So I'll tell you that's not the way the process works. So with that, I'll leave it because nobody wants to hear it anyway. So Dante, go ahead. It's all yours.
So I believe we all received the same calls from Mr. Carell, and more people than I can count about hockey. I'm not necessarily a hockey fan. I don't go to hockey games, but it's not about me. They talked a lot about what the kids were doing and what was happening in that space, and just to consider what can be if we just step back and take a wider view. So I look at it as how am I being of service to my community? One, the bids weren't astronomically close, but they weren't necessarily that far off either. We've had a person that has been engaged in the space for years now. Challenges or no, I believe that we can figure that out. And before I talked to Mr. Carell or anyone else, I firmly believe that we should be supporting small business. And I say that because we're a cash poor city, or don't use it correctly in all intents and purposes, and need to do for people what we can. So if it is providing an opportunity for them to feed back into others, I think we should be doing that. I really appreciate the man from the hotel coming. I was waiting to see Mr. Percy, but I'm glad somebody showed up. That's a piece of our dollars as well, right? So when we hear the report at the beginning of 2026 and Percy's already going to tell us about how there weren't 8 million people, we're also going to see the lessening of the dollars that we'll receive because of something some will think is insignificant, but it isn't, as this. I think we need to pay attention and look at it through a different lens and understand what the community benefit actually is besides the dollars. We're not going to make money off a hockey rink. We want to just maintain it doing what it's doing.
Calculations on all
Right?
the restaurants and
So
everything
let's,
else.
I'm just going to say, let's,
Out of
hold
the
up.
area is not gonna do anything.
I'm just going to say, let's think about that before we vote.
Ryan? Go ahead, Dante.
All right, so like I made it earlier, I made a statement, and I actually spoke with, again, Ms. Jessica Roswell. So she's with Skate Great, and she told me personally, unbiasedly, that she had no intentions whatsoever on doing business. She doesn't even have the staff to do so right now. They're in Springville or wherever they're from. And I also shared that information with my colleagues. I hope they actually reached out to her as well, because they can verify if they did and talked to her that she would have said the same thing. But also, so with that being the case, if you're going to mislead, misinform, misrepresent, that undermines the whole RFP process to begin with, right? I only got 4 minutes and like 10 seconds, so listen. So if you're going to do that, and if Legacy is willing to misrepresent the partnerships that they say that they're going to have in regards to the city, what other falsehood and hidden risk that we may fall into if they were to run this as, our vendor? So let's talk about a couple of things, because we keep talking about deficits and we keep talking about, NST owes this. Well, why isn't no one talking about the $201,659.73 that Mr. Schaufman actually lost in a lawsuit due to unpaid tax liabilities? So, also, let's talk about Legacy's legacy. So it's been very clearly known that they have been known to undercut small businesses and small local companies using their capital. And this is something that's Googleable. Don't take my word for it. Let's talk about the employee reviews. They describe Legacy as, let's see here, awful work environment, incompetent management, extremely disappointing, blatantly disingenuous and disrespectful to employees, disorganized and unresponsive. This is what we want to bring to our city to watch over our children while they skate. Is that what we represent as a city? And who's vetting? I'm going to keep going. I got 2 minutes left. The predecessor, prior to Legacy, it was Schaufman Upsilon Ventures. They also had reviews also, and they only had a 1.8 out of 5 stars with all of their 8 reviews that they had. And they were also listed as disorganized, rude, borderline fraud. So my question is while we're up here getting ready to vote on something what level of incompetency is handling the vetting process? Because this is not the first time that we've voted on a contract that did the city no good, because we talked about this before. Because we're talking about contracts. So if someone say they can handle 45 and they sign on the dotted line and they only can handle 13 to 15 and we still pay them $20,000, that's a bad contract. When we're almost willing to give away 10 pieces of our property for $50,000 and give $1 million grant to someone who has been a known slumlord. That's a bad contract. And here we go, we're sitting again, and this is the biggest problem. And you guys can sit here and look however you feel, but at the end of the day, we need to actually start paying attention. I said this before our break, that we need to dig in and find some real integrity. Because right now, we're scraping and we're trying to find a reason to not support somebody that's local. Somebody, and you wonder why businesses don't want to come here and invest. Because we treat our locals like crap. We treat our locals like garbage. So here's the thing, I only got 14 seconds left. At the end of the day, we have to make sure your legacy, as far as legacy is concerned, tonight your vote is going to determine what your legacy is going to look like, because I promise you I'm going to keep it alive.
Any other debate items there? Anybody?
Corella, for your years of dedication. And from what I'm hearing, hometown style management is what I'll call it, is what you brought to the High Park Ice Pavilion. Your commitment to the rink has meant a lot to the families. I mean, clearly we can see that by everybody who's here tonight. And to everyone who's here tonight, your presence is a reminder of what we have to do up here, right? We have to critically assess all of this information and what we're hearing, and what's been presented. And there is just two things here that I just want to say, and we can move on. I've heard from many, many speakers to vote tonight to keep NST here. Vote tonight to keep NST here. The vote tonight is about a proposal, and I don't know which way this vote is going to go, by the way. I have no idea. I don't know. But whatever happens, I just want everybody to know and understand, if it fails, it may not keep NST here. If it passes, it may not. And that's because of the way this process works up here and what's been presented in front of us. And I know, Mr. Corella, you and I have spoken about this. So, again, I want to thank you. I don't know which way it's going to go. Our job is to, look at all of this and to look at the documentation, and it's not about a dismissal of NST and what what's happened, however this vote goes, but we have to look at how do we, sustain the future of the High Park Ice Pavilion, the growth of it, and run it sustainably for the future, for all of you who came here tonight.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, we heard from everybody. Okay, all right, let's call the roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I need to be able to hear the vote. Thank you.
Sure she's going to say yes.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Councilmember Archie?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
So before I vote, once again, if we choose to ignore the voice of the people, if we choose to ignore our constituents, if we choose to ignore everyone who we represent, if we choose to ignore the growth of the city of Niagara Falls. If we choose to ignore a company that actually has represented well, built relationships over the last 14 years that many organizations have not built. If we choose to ignore that, we're doing an absolute disservice to the people that we represent. And that goes for everyone. And if we choose to do that, then you do not deserve to be in this seat. Come on now. So with that being said, on behalf of everybody that I represent in the city of Niagara Falls, I vote absolutely no.
Council member. Excuse me. Council member Zajac?
No.
Hold on. I got one more. Everybody. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Sit down. Hold on, everybody. Hey, I'm excited. Let me finish it. Let me finish it, please. Thank you. Council chairperson.
Well, I'm going to say this. Everybody's cheering out there.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
You're cheering tonight like I heard we had other legislations, but I don't think people understand the ramifications of a no vote. If you understood what happened, you wouldn't be cheering.
Hold on, guys.
My vote is yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Yes.
Council chairperson Perry.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. What is your vote, sir?
Yes.
Yes. 4 yeas. No.
No.
2 yeas. No. 2 yeas. 3. 3 yeas. 2 nays.
Okay, the motion's failed. Okay.
All right, guys.
Now we'll pause for a couple minutes for people who want to leave.
Yes, please. Thank you.
You guys just killed the thing. No, they don't realize what they just did.
Need some water? I'll go get you some. I don't, what's your name?
Okay, ba- back in session. Okay. We're moving on to legislative item number 4. Do I have a motion for legislative item number 4?
Programming services relative to the city's oh, wait a second. Sorry, wrong one. I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with North Point Council, Inc. relative to an employee assistance program as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated September 11th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Information requests? Opposition? Okay, Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Archie? Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry.
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Do I have a motion for legislative item number 5, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve the waiver of city parking fees at the surface lot on 238 3rd Street on October 3rd, 2025 for the benefit of the NAACP's Award Gala at the Niagara Falls Convention Center as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated September 11th, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, I will not state the motions again unless I'm requested to do so. We already should have said that the first one, but information requests.
NAACP Gala is on October the 3rd at the Niagara Conference Center, beginning at 5:30 Eastern Time. Please see Ms. Arlene or myself for more information before you leave.
Okay, opposition? Okay, Liz, call the roll.
Councilmember Archie? Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles? Yes. Councilmember Zajac, Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Do I have a motion for item number 6, please?
For number 6, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to finalize and enter into an encroachment agreement with the Niagara Tourism and Convention Corp. To accommodate its installation of parking lot access controls near the north end of 2nd Street, where it dead ends at the Convention Center, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated September 11, 2025.
Is there a second? Second. Any opposition? Oh, I'm sorry, information. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's adopted. Do I have a motion for item number 7?
Yes. For number 7, I move the council vote to approve the reprogramming of $195,645 in unspent Community Development 2024 demolition funds as more fully outlined in the Mayor's recommendation memo dated September 15th, 2025.
Is there a second? Okay, information requests?
Yeah, there was and I couldn't find it because I didn't write it down. There was a community group or something identified for a portion of those funds. What do they?
It's a not-for-profit corporation, Youth Motivation Movement, Inc.
It's here, obviously.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're based in Niagara Falls, and they provide after-school programs.
Do we know where?
Other than the city of Niagara Falls, I couldn't tell you. I tried to.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
Okay. Any opposition? Oh, go ahead, more question? Another question.
Before we move on to that, so the funds being repurposed, which are to good causes, if there are demolitions that are needed between now and the end of the year, and we move these funds, are we still able to address that?
It's the judgment of community development that they will not need those funds. And so what they're concerned about is by not spending it down, they risk having the funds taken away.
Right.
And so it was actually their recommendation that the funds be redesignated or reprogrammed. It's in part, I think part of the explanation is that the city's been working very diligently in the last several years, going through its stock of foreclosed properties, meaning properties that the city owns because of tax foreclosure, and methodically going through those that can be allowed to stay because there might be still some life to them, but also identifying the ones that are too far gone and taking those down. So there have been quite a few demolitions over the years of city-owned properties, and I think this is an indication that the pool of city-owned properties that need demolition have been pretty well gone through. And so with this surplus money, we'd rather see it used for other purposes rather than use it.
Yeah, I don't want to lose it either.
Question, how long have we known about this surplus of money that we had from the 2024 budget?
Well, I learned of it Monday morning when community development reached out and said basically, can you get this on the agenda? It's critically important to get it through so that we don't lose the funds.
So community development known about it much longer. You just found out about it.
I can't speak for community development. You asked me, when I learned about it, and I just explained it. That's why it's a late addition to the agenda.
Have been in and out of there. Just thinking about the last director. Just think about.
Are we? Okay. Okay, now, opposition.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you, it's really. I probably have to say what I have to say before the vote because I'm for youth programs, but I got to say something before I actually vote. So I'm gonna wait until the vote portion because
All right.
I got something I have to say.
Okay. All right. Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Miles,
Literally mind-boggling that this administration could not find this amount of money at the beginning of the year when the community centers were defunded programming for the youth in the inner city. So my thing is are we cherry picking like crazy how we're going to spend these CDBG funds? That's my biggest problem. Who's gonna ask? Does anybody else care? So my thing is, I think we need to practice more empathy than apathy up here, because they're literally what we had to go get outside funding for a program, for a summer program for our youth in the inner city, to marginalize the area that has been forgotten and left out. I've been up here talking about this since the last three and a half years, so this is not nothing new to some of y'all. In the beginning of the year, is it because we don't have a city controller sitting here in front of us to be able to tell us exactly where these monies are? And are we still okay with operating out of order the same way? That's my biggest problem. And why aren't we like holding the fire to that? Because I believe at the beginning of this summer, before this administration defunded that program at the Doris Jones Center. I got to make it clear. And at the Packer Court Community Center, the places where a lot of us, majority black and brown people, let's call it what it is. When they defunded all of that, you couldn't find this money then. And then you want to demonize the people that actually find money for this for these programs. But today we can happily say, yes, we're gonna take these funds that has been available, and I'm sure they've been available way before Monday. You just found out Monday. I'm sure, and if we had some competent people here that would be able to answer these questions, so when we ask about these questions a whole lot earlier, then we can get some solid answers instead of some like very lame, as the mayor likes to say, broad brushstrokes. So with that being said, but I am always for these babies. So at the end of the day, I'm voting yes for it. But y'all need to hear that. Y'all need to hear what I thought.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry,
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, motion's carried. Do I have a motion for item number 8?
For number 8, I move the council vote to approve a proposed settlement of $2,376 to fully resolve the property damage claim of Ronald E. Cunningham, as more fully outlined in the Acting Corporation Council's recommendation memo dated September 11, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any information requests? Any opposition? Okay, Liz, call the roll.
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Myers,
See Mr. Cunningham here tonight. I'd like to see you here more often. I like to see you here because, again, to my previous, you've been someone that has been very known in the community, and we need some voices that has been known in the community to stand up here and actually do what I'm doing up here. So, but I vote yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
I'm going to abstain from this.
he is abstaining. Thank you. And Council Chairperson Perry,
Yes.
4 yeas, 1 abstention.
Motion is carried. We're down to action item number 12. Do I have a motion? Action item number 9. Do I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve resolution relative to scheduling a public hearing on October 8th, 2025, concerning a proposed amendment of the city charter to add a new Article 28 in relation to flood damage prevention.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, this is for a hearing. Information requests? Okay, any opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Miles,
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry,
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay, that completes our agenda items for this evening. We're moving on to the next part with the public speakers. And before we get to that, I'd like to recap a few things from our last meeting. Again, I'd like to give Mr. John Spanbauer, our council secretary, thanks for information that he's provided and the informational briefing to help carry on this period that we used to have. First of all, what I want to do is express there was express concern about the cost of purchasing new equipment for the dog shelter. The equipment approved was required by New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. I will again explain the protocol for purchasing, at this time in more detail, because probably some people might not have understood it. But the New York State requires the City of Niagara Falls as a municipality to adapt the procedures and policy in compliance with New York State General Municipal Law 103. Neither the council nor the administration goes out and obtains these bids to purchase things for the city. That's the responsibility of the city's purchasing department in accordance with law. This applies to purchasing of most all goods, commodities, and services at the best possible price to meet the city needs. The equipment approved for purchasing on September 3rd, in the September 3rd council meeting, was equipment that reflected the lowest quotes received by the purchasing department, therefore it was approved. As I stated before, the allocations of the $4.1 million for the animal shelter was very clearly outlined in supporting documentation presented to the City Council and is available on the city website. It does not include accessories needed for the operation. Agriculture and Marketing Law, AML, Article 7, Section 114, states that each municipality which licenses are issued shall have a dog shelter. You can do it one of four ways. The municipality can establish and maintain a dog shelter. The municipality can establish and maintain a shelter jointly with another municipality. The municipality can contract another municipality for services. For the municipality can, they can contract a Humane Society or other incorporated dog protection association for the shelter. This city has decided to build its own shelter, which will meet requirements that the state put forward. In addition, this will be another revenue stream for the citizens of Niagara Falls. The Purchase Department is preparing currently an RFQ for the operation of the facility. In the next item, the speaker spoke of overgrown lots on 10 and 12 C Street. We had the staff visit the lots. He took pictures and forwarded the information to the administration for action. The speaker said he should not have to come to council meetings to complain about high grass, and I think we all agree with that. The city administrator discussed the property with the director of DPW. He also told us that he reviewed the 311 calls. He stated that there were calls for 10C in 2022. Regarding 12C, a call was made on August 25th for high grass, followed by an online submission on September 5th. So that issue will be addressed. I will add that we get several calls weekly for high grass, unkept areas. Most of the complaints come from people about their neighbors. Each complaint takes us time and resources to investigate. In some cases, the legal process follows. And some of these legal actions, the city's always painted to be the bad guy for some reason if we move too quickly or if we move too slowly. There's always someone out there criticizing us. I personally will stand behind the work of our DPW. I think they do an excellent job for the resources they have, and they're doing the best they can. One speaker came up to ask sarcastically, at least I hope it was sarcastically, when did we start letting people build structures without permits? The city does not allow structures to be built without permits. In this case, a property owner did start a structure without proper permits. As soon as the city found out, they put a stop work order in, and the property owner was fined for not following codes associated with the building. What I will say is, there was a meeting held in the executive conference room, and I was informed that the person voicing their concern was actually in that meeting and was informed of this information. So now, with all of that going on, let me remind you, the speakers have 3 minutes. Please clearly state your name and what your issue is and your residency so we can follow up on your request. With that, Liz?
Yes, sir. Our first speaker is John Gordon. John Gordon, are you here?
Good evening. I'll be short and sweet with this. I live at the corner of 27th and Pierce, and I would like to start the process of finding a way to install a four-way stop sign there, because we had another accident on Sunday afternoon there. This is a place where 2 different buses pick up kids in the morning. There are four-way stop signs on 18th, 22nd, 24th, and the reason for the accident was that the person that should have stopped thought that there was a four-way stop sign. So I spoke to the officer, and he said I'd probably have to get some signatures and something, and I'll be willing to talk to somebody afterwards about exactly what that procedure is. But to get it started, he said I could appear before the city council and just make this known. There's a lot of high speed that goes down there, and a four-way stop sign would certainly help with that also. And just when they start with the statistics and everything for how many accidents there are, it's not just the accidents, it's the close calls where you hear the screeching brakes all the time that are not statistically measurable, that need to be taken into account for this also. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Dawn Gullo. Thank you, Ms. Gullo.
Thank you for having me here tonight, and I'm kind of new to the area. My name is Dawn Marie Gullo. I moved here a year ago. And Mr. Perry, I've now met you in person, and I now understand why I didn't get a phone call from you. With that being said, Mr. Miles, I wish I would have known about you in the summertime. I'm known as the pain in the ass of 91st Street. Your secretary has, in fact, encouraged me to show up here tonight. I moved here a year ago. I have a child with special needs, and we utilize your 91st Street pool. And let me tell you the disappointment I've had in my year experience here. Over the last year, the summer was my first experience with my son. We utilize your pool because we can't afford one. With that being said, I'm lucky to have a car, which allows me to drive out of district, which was fortunate for me because your pool was only open from 12 to 5, Wednesday through Sunday. With that being said, at 95-degree days this summer, my child and numerous other children had no place to go. I had drove my child out of district down the street. In fact, the gentleman from Mark Scheer from the Gazette did a piece on it. His child, actually, he told me he had to drive out of district as well for a splash pad, which is non-supervised by any adult supervision at all. It's left on your own accordances. Which brings me to the point being that these children have no place to go. Your splash pads were closed. Nowhere to go, nowhere to cool off, nowhere. Nowhere for my child to cool off at all. And yet you had 6 people standing around looking stupid when they were open. Let's talk about the 91st pool. From the hours between 12 and 5 that they're supposed to be open, no offense, they're not. They're closed down for a good hour, anywhere for 45 minutes to an hour and a half for maintenance, for chlorine issues. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, color me stupid, but maintenance of a pool with chlorine should be taken in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever you guys do. We all know how to take care of a pool properly. It's pretty easy. You put the chemicals in and it's self-sufficient. You shouldn't have to close down the pool for an hour and a half. Meanwhile, these kids are outside of the pool area, going home, finding other things to do. Meanwhile, they had no place to go at a splash pad that you had 6 people standing around. You don't need a lifeguard, 6 of them standing around at the splash pad. Nobody's drowning. Now, if you go to a pool and you tell me we don't have enough lifeguards, well, let's talk about that. You wonder why you don't have any lifeguards and no interest in your pool? Because you're not teaching these kids how to swim. Maybe if you gave them life-saving classes and taught them how to swim, maybe they'd have more interest. And therefore, our school would have more opportunity to be able to teach these kids to be able to be more lifeguarding. And I'm sorry that my time expired.
Thank you.
You need to hear that. Do better for our children.
Our next speaker is Tanya Barone.
Good evening again. Just wanted to let you know that there are some of us that do pay attention to the other agenda items that were on this agenda this evening. And I brought this up at the last meeting, I believe, regarding the COVID interest and how much COVID interest do we have and where is it? Which bank account holds the COVID interest? Because tonight, we approved $293,112.40 for the fire department. Now, I'm all for the fire department for, safety. Obviously, they need equipment, but we're also taking that money and outfitting the animal shelter that we've already spent over $4 million for. So I'm just wondering, how full is this pot of money? And how much are we going to keep dipping into it when we need so many other things? Someone has brought attention to today something that has happened. The city DPW, or whoever is forestry, cutting down trees on private property on 12th Street. It's definitely wasn't in an easement, and they have pictures of it. So I'd like someone up there, any one of you, to look into why our DPW is cutting down private trees on private property, because we pay for that. And I have to address this vote tonight and with the High Park ice rink. The only thing that I got from that was that we are completely complacent with the taxpayers' money. To allow $1 million to accumulate, if that's really what it is, and I'm not convinced that that's true, why are we going 4.5 years without a contract and allowing $1 million that we all pay for to accumulate? And why did it take till now to actually address that by changing locks on a door when someone doesn't get their way? It does not have a good look for our city. That's not the way we should be doing business. We should actually be working with that current operator to negotiate a new contract, to clear up whatever matters are at hand, to go on a little hissy fit and stomp your feet and fight like kids in a playground by sending police officers there is unfair to them as well. We need to do better, period.
That is our last speaker.
Meeting's adjourned.